Hey y'all, it's Craig and Melissa with the Bickhams here today. Everybody's been asking me to do a bow tutorial on the 4-in-1. This is the Pro Bow the Hand 4-in-1 bow maker, multi-purpose tool that you can make your bows on, or you can do your ribbon tails on, multiple different things. You can use it to hold your mesh, your cruffles, which we might show that too. So I hope you enjoy this video. So let's get started. We're going to show you as much as we can and how I make my bows, and we hope you enjoy the video. So let's get after it, y'all. Alright, I've decided we're going to do a couple different bows here. As you can see, it comes with 5 different pegs. I do have it where I'm going to be switching back and forth where you can see. Alright, so it comes with 5 different wooden pegs. It has multiple holes, multiple things you can do. The center pegs is where the 2 are here. This is where we twist our ribbon, and this is where we make our bow out from. All of these other ones, except this end one here, this is what holds our ribbon when we get ready to start sticking it on there. So let's look at let's make the bows first, and then we'll kind of go over some other things that it does. One of the things that I like about this, some people might not, it does have a little bit of weight. This thing, it weighs total right at almost 3 pounds, and it has the rubber feet on it, and it doesn't move around. It just doesn't. It's good and sturdy. It's made out of MDF, and the pegs are wooden, and they just shove in each hole. So this is the ribbon that we're going to go with the first one. I picked 4 different ribbons. This is my normal style bow. Now me and Melissa were just talking, y'all, there's no correct way for you to make your bows. Make your bows just like you like them. The more you make them, the more you will like your own style. If you're looking for bows with, and I'm looking to her because I know I like to hear what she has to say as well. When you use one color ribbon, you can make some really pretty bows with that. If you're looking for like that big round, fluffy tree topper type poofy bow, you have to play with that and see how many loops you need. Grab that one over there, that colorful one. I've got one already made, and to me, if you're gonna, now I'm gonna have to refluff it a little bit. It's been, well, it looks okay. It's been sitting here. I made this one on a tutorial before. Let me lay that down. Let's zoom up, and I'm gonna kind of show you. See how round this bow is, and it's full. It's really full. It still needs a little fluffing. These do aggravate me a little bit because you wind up losing where you're at when you're fluffing, because it's like, oh Lord, am I on the same row? But just take your time. And this, y'all, this actually has, let's see. So we've got, trying to see how many loops we got, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This has 20 loops, so 10 on each side. So in order to get that full look like that, you've got to use a lot of ribbon and got to put a lot of loops in it. So 20 plus loops, don't you think, is going to give you that really, really full tree topper type, makes a statement on a big box or gift or wreath or whatever you're doing. So just play around with your style. There's so many different styles that everybody does. I like to make one that just starts off with a 2.5-inch ribbon, and then I build on top with 1.5s as what they call. This one's different too. I did this one on a tutorial where I have extra tails in this one.
It's cute.
Super easy, but it gives you more tails than my normal bow. So go back and make sure you check out the other tutorials right here on the With the Bickhams YouTube channel. Make sure, don't forget, y'all subscribe to our channel. Y'all helping us grow. Alright, so let's get started. 2.5-inch. I use my little pin cushion here. That's what I start with. I have my own scissors that my wife put my name on. So because she messes up my scissors, y'all. We do normally sell these, but we're right at this time of the recording. We are out, but they should be here.
We're down to one pair.
One pair?
One
No,
pair.
I don't think so.
Yes, we are.
Okay, she says we're down to one pair. You better go check that on the computer.
Okay.
But we have more coming. So, alright, I just cut my little dovetail. Now, all I do is fold the ribbon in half, no matter what ribbon you have. I'm right-handed. I hold the ribbon up with everything we sell here at smalltownwreathshop.com is wired. So you have the wired edges on the side. So fold that wire together, and then I just cut up toward the sky at like a 40, 45, or whatever angle you want to cut. If you have a ribbon that's not as heavy as this one, that's thinner, a lot of times when you cut your dovetails deeper, if you cut them deeper, it tends to want to fold in on you. It just can't. It kind of does that by itself. It doesn't have enough body to hold itself out. So if you're using a thinner ribbon, make sure you don't make as big an angle. It doesn't give you as pretty as a dovetail, but it does give you a little dovetail. If it's a heavy, nice and heavy ribbon, you can go even more, like so. There's multiple ways to cut. Now look how big that one is. You can see that one there. Or instead of having just a normal dovetail, let's start over since I'm cutting ribbon here. You can actually, I'm going to shorten it up or get it straight across. Start, I don't know if y'all can see that. You back up and start maybe an inch and a quarter back, and you go toward the middle of the ribbon right here, like halfway toward the middle. And then as you get close there, you just round it off, and I'll show you. That one makes a really elegant. Go toward the middle, and then start rounding toward that corner. Oh. And as you can see, that one's got that little rounded edge, and when you open it, it makes a totally different looking dovetail. I learned that watching some of Miss Julie Oxendine on her channel. I like that. It looks really, really good with like Christmas ribbon or some kind of elegant ribbon, But for this one, we're just going to stay with our normal 45 or so dovetail. Just going to stay with the regular dovetail. Now, depending on how big our project is how long I actually make the tails. Sometimes I go all the way out to about 14 inches if it's going to be a big wreath that we're putting it on and it needs those draping tails down, but normally you can stay around. You've got 10 inches from the pegs to the end, so you got a 10-inch mark, so you can let it overhang just a couple inches, and it gives you that 12-inch. Now y'all have heard them talk about that pinch and twist. Ever how you need to do that, go ahead and try to practice. If you have to lay it down at the find where you want it to go, make your mark. If you have to lay it and you pinch like across to do that first, then twist it, because you want your good side of your ribbon on your tail up, and now we're going to twist to have the opposite, the back side, because now we're going to be folding that back over, making our first loop. Now I always kind of make sure to work up against those pegs where you twist it, work some of those wrinkles out. Use that wire for what you can. Then I'll open up where I twisted, but make sure that twist is pretty tight. It's just gonna make a prettier boat. You know what I mean? So whenever you accordion pretty tight, you don't have to do it that way, but then make sure that twist is tight. Put that twist down in there and push it down. I use like a thumb, hold it down so it doesn't move, and then I can pull my slack off and make my fold, stick it back between my pegs. And I normally like to go about 6 inches on the bottom, 6 to 6.5. If you want them longer, in my experience, when you make the longer tails, they get floppy. They just do. Now if they're, once they get on the project and they're laying up against, you can kind of put them, if you have to put a little dab of glue or something to hold it in place. But for all my purposes, on the wreaths, I usually don't go any more than 6. That makes the bow 12 inches across. So I just kind of go to 6 inches, you know, give or take, and I just do my twist, stick one hand over and the other hand kind of opposite, and use my fingers underneath, and then I just kind of scrunch and I twist it right there. And then I just kind of, you know, make sure my twist is tight, and I start opening up that bottom, make sure I'm at my 6, and we do one more. Just like so. I kind of open my ribbon. Don't get in a hurry making your bows, y'all. Take a little extra time. Now if you need to make a bunch, I guess you'll get good at it. And what I do on this one, we won't have to twist, so I just kind of accordion down, squish it down in the middle real tight, keep it tight, make sure you're at 6, hold it, and since we're only doing one loop, now we're going to have our tail. So I'm just trying to work out some of them little wrinkles in there. You can go the same length, or sometimes, most of the time what I do is, if this one's 12, I'm going to cut this one about 9 or 10, a little bit shorter. It's just something that I do, because when I put the bows up and down, I want them long tails hanging, and I want them shorter tails up. That way they don't just completely flop over. So I just make them a little shorter, a couple of inches shorter, so that's about 9 inches. And then I hold tight in the middle, fold the ribbon together, and go ahead and do my other dovetail on this side. And now we have our first section in. I gotta get my garbage can. I can throw my little scraps away. And now we just move on. We start building on top. And one of the biggest keys is to keep everything between these pegs tight. That's what I call, or everybody that I've ever heard them call it, their stack. You keep the stack tight the whole time that you're building it. So now we're going to go in with just a single 1.5 inch rust. I hope I've got enough of this one, because I was planning on doing 3 loops of it. So we're going to see. Dovetail. And you can dovetail all your stuff afterwards. Make it a little shorter, you know, maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/8 inch shorter. Good rule of thumb, you can do a finger width. If you want to lay it there and, you know, well, let's call that the end. Run that dovetail close to the center, and it's wider than a finger, but it'll do. But just keep everything a little bit shorter. And I start kind of fluffing my tails and stuff as I go. Now I just leave mine laying. You can turn them if you want. A lot of people pull them and say, well, I want that one going that way. I do all that when I'm fluffing my bows anyway. So we twisted. Now we're going to make our first loop. Make sure it's down in that bottom. And I'm going to shorten it up a good finger. And that's from the other loop. Then I just kind of check it. And I just want it to, you know, each time, each color is going to get shorter every time. Now when I do the 1.5 inch on top of here, this is what they call the blast off bow, but that counts down 3 loops, 2 loops, 1 loop, like 3, 2, 1 blast off. Make sure you're staying about the same. Then you twist it. You already twisted. Make your loop, and now get it the same. And I grab and I twist again and push it down. Make sure it's about the same length. Make another loop. We ain't gonna have enough. Ooh, great. So this one we're gonna change, since I don't have enough. So this one we're gonna make the 1, 2, 1. We'll have to do another one in the blast off. But it's all the same thing. Now when I do a 1, 2, 1, it's a lot airier bow. We actually got 4, so I could do 1, 2, 1, and 2 on top. That's what we're gonna do, since I got 4 ribbons. So like I said, just make it yours. You know, play around with what you like and see what what comes out better. But the less loops you put, if you're putting it on a grapevine and you're adding florals, and that's all I had left of that one, so that one's gone. So now we're gonna get this pretty fall. We got plenty of it. It's on a 50-yard roll. and we're just going to go in, and I'm doing opposite. So I've got one loop on bottom, 2 loops of the rust. Now we're going to go back to 1 loop with this one. Now the 50-yard rolls, they kind of, you know, they take up a lot more room. So just take your time. They'll kind of get in the way a little bit, and grab your ribbon. Alright, same thing. Shorten up just a little bit less than that rust. Twist, push it down, make sure it stays tight, push it way down in the bottom. Make your loop. This is some really good ribbon here. A little bit shorter, get close to your length, find where that peg, and twist it. Twist it, push it down, open it up, and check your length. About a finger. So, about a finger, so like that. So you can stick one finger, your ring finger, and use your middle finger, and there's your shortness. Make sure it's pushed down tight. Just pull you some slack. We've got our twist. When you twist, you see the inside of that ribbon. And now we're going to just, you know, make the loop, hold it back up, go between your pegs, get your length about right. And we got 1, 2, 1. We're only going to do one of these. So now we don't have to twist on our last tail. So we just kind of accordion it up, scrunch it up, and push it down. And make sure. Now you can check your lengths. If you want to check and see if they're the same, you know, hold them up. You can hold them together if you want. You know, get you, well, I can't do it like that. You have to let go and make sure they're, you know, close. But it's not, it doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. It can be off a little. Nobody's going to see it. There's a couple things that you don't want to do, and letting this get loose in this stack is one of them. Keep that stack tight. Cut a little shorter than our last tail. Dovetail. Work out some of those wrinkles. And that's all we're going to need of that one. I'm going to roll it back up. Put our pin back in. And we're going to use our last one. This is just a little stripe. It's like a mustard and cream stripe. And I was just trying to pick some stuff that, you know, would go pretty together. You could go, and don't forget to use those solids, y'all. Use those solid colors to kind of sort of help break up. You know, that's what we use them for, to break up those prints. And we carry a lot of solids here at smalltownwreathshop.com. Same thing. So now we got our loop a little shorter. Pull on that peg a little, twist it, push it down. Work that center out. Now this one, I'm going to do 2 on top. And if you like to, you can always do, instead of 2 on each side, you can do 2 on one side, 3 on the other, and make that little button to cover that center piece up. 2 there. I'm going to do 2 more. I didn't have a whole lot of this ribbon left, so we're not going to be able to do more than 2. Make sure they stay about the same length. And if you don't like the way it looks, pull it up and retwist it. Make sure they're all good. Make sure that one's good. And then just push it down, like accordion it down. And we're going to cut it. This will be our last tail. A little bit shorter. That's all of that one. Now, this will be the last dovetail. And then we're going to start tying it together. Now, I prefer the zip ties. A lot of people, especially if they're making hand bows, they're just using chenille stems to hold together. I prefer to use the, this is an 8-inch zip tie. I think it's 8 inches. Yeah, this is the 8-inch. You can use black, you can use the clear. It doesn't really matter. And it don't really matter too much. I try to get a chenille stem that kind of coordinates a little. So we have a brown and we have a natural color, and then, like I said, so it kind of blends in. So I'm going to lift all of this up, get underneath it, push down on the top, keep that stack tight. Go under with your zip tie. Make sure I look okay right there. Hook your zip tie together, pull it down close, but not all the way. Don't pull it tight yet, because we still have to stick the chenille stem in. You can pull it out now, and you can see, or kind of see, how that's where the pegs were at, right beside this. So it's kind of, it's indented. So what I do is I slide that zip tie, keep that stack tight, don't let nothing move, and I just slide that zip tie into that little groove, and I use two fingers, my thumb and my pointer finger on each side, and I push it down tight even more so I can get that chenille stem underneath that zip tie. Pull it about halfway through, and you can kind of guess on that. Now we can kind of start pulling things tight, keeping the stack straight the whole time. Keep all that ribbon on top of each other. Don't let them start falling out. So you keep them straight, and you can start pulling. You don't have to get it all the way completely. And then I keep pushing on each side and keep the stack straight the whole time. If it starts to want to round over, I keep it straight, and then I stop. It's pretty tight now. We'll go tighter because we're going to be moving things. I don't cut anything yet. Just kind of hold, I bring everything together so I can kind of hold the chenille stems and the zip ties. This is my longer side. I don't know why, but I like to start with my longer ones. And I just start pulling opposite. Now it takes a little bit of pulling and yanking. Then I kind of take my fingers, run it between two fingers like that, and it'll give that ribbon that curl. I'm going to leave this ribbon almost straight, the 2.5. Now I'm going to take the next tail, and I'm going to go to the opposite side of the first one. And just kind of pay attention how things look. Run them fingers through it. Now with these, I'm going to open them up. Let the loops or the tails, whatever way they want to go, that makes it that they're relaxed. Don't try to, if this one's wanting to go this way, then let it go that way. But if this one wants to go that way, then pull them and just let them go the way they are comfortable, I guess would be a good word. Now what you want is you want that one single loop showing between those two doubles, like two fingers, and you want that where you can see it through that little V, just like so. Now we have another single, and we're going to let that one fall back in the V. Now we're going to take this next tail, and we're going to go opposite of the last tail. And now we have two loops, and I'm going to pull these like kind of straight. I want that to come straight up and down now. We're going to leave this single. I'm going to open them doubles up a little more. Move that one over. And now these are going to have to turn. So figure out which way. Like, I don't like that. This one must want to go this way a little bit more. And now we're going to put him this way. Whichever way it looks better. So you may have to kind of move them. That one don't, I didn't like that either. There we go. So just kind of pull them, turn them. Don't get frustrated. And open them up. Now we're going to turn it. And we're going to work on the other side till we start getting the shape that we want. Same thing. Alright, so now you got your loop on bottom. We're going to keep everything running across. So here's the 2.5 inch with the pumpkins on it. So we're going to let that run straight across from that. We're going to find the tail of the 2.5, and we're going to pull the tail where it kind of makes an X across with that same ribbon. You want it to kind of run across. Move to your next loops. Open those two up. Find that tail, the rust, on this side. It's over here. And now we're going to pull this one opposite. That way it goes across with this one. Just like so. Now we're back to our single with the leaves on it. Put it right between the middle. That's where these go. Take a look at what's on both sides. Find your loop, whichever way your loops want to go. Like that'll be fine that way. Open them last two up. Get some of them wrinkles out and find this last opposite tail, which is right here. And pull it down. So now we have, and that's when I start kind of pulling things like I want to see it. Opening up, paying attention where everything's at, making sure that I got those tails curled, you know, on each one, and I get the best look out of all of it that I can. This bow is kind of, like I said, it's a little bit airier type bow. I don't really like that one. This one wants to really go to the right, so we're going to make this one go back over here to the left. And that's what I do. I just kind of go back through things, and if I see where something's not laying like I like it, then I figure out what's making it not lay, and I try to fix that problem. And this one, it gives you the 4 in the center, which you could do 5, and you could hide that loop. So, but they're super pretty, you know, and they kind of, instead of being a totally round bow, it's kind of got that vertical look. And then, you know, if you're long one, let's zoom out a little bit, so you kind of see how things, and then as you put it on your project, it's going to push all of this stuff up. So it's going to start filling all of those holes where it just kind of flops right now. Just make sure you've got everything open and it looks really good. It's a pretty little fall bow. And then I will still be pulling on everything once we get it on the project. Super pretty. It's a pretty bow. It's going to make a really pretty fall bow for somebody. So, alright. So now, we have got, what, Halloween?
Yeah, on the good side.
Oh. Alright. So now, we're going to do a Halloween bow, and we're only going to be using 3. Now this one, I kind of do the same way as we just did that one, but since we didn't get to do the 3-2-1 blast off on top of it, because I don't have, I'll tell you what, let's find, I want to do a 3-2-1, so let me go find some ribbon real quick. Alright, so we found another little ribbon. Alright, so this is going to be our combination. We're going to go with that little solid purple that does have a little bit of a shimmer to it, since this Halloween one's going to be pretty glittery and pretty, you know, glam. So that's what we're going to be doing. Alright, so let's come down so we can see what we're doing here. Same concept. Everything, we're going to start with the 2.5, except this time we're going to be able to do the 3-2-1 the whole way. Put your little dovetail. Pick your, let's stay shorter. I'm going to stay shorter this time with this. Now you can always cut you some extra tails if you want. I think I'm going to show y'all that. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do 1 loop of the 2.5 on bottom. I'm not going to go as long. We're going to keep a 10-inch tail on this one. So we're going to twist, push down. And we're going to go ahead and kind of, you know, get them little bit of wrinkles out in that bottom there. So we're going to do 1 loop on each side. And we're going to still stay about the 6-inch mark. We're going to twist, push it down tight, make sure we're at 6, pull your slack, put your ribbon in, go to your 6, Find that 6. And we're not going to twist now. So now we're just going to kind of accordion it down, make sure we're still on that 6 mark. Get them little wrinkles out. And we're going to cut this one about 8 inches. Alright, so now we're going to dovetail. And now we're just going to, instead of adding more loops in, we're just going to take us some ribbon. Probably, I'm going to cut them about, cut a piece about 18 inches. A little bit over 18, 19 inches. I'm going to cut a piece. Now we can cut these back. And what we're going to do, we're going to fold it together. Flatten it out. Get that little crease going right here. And we're going to fold everything together. And we're going to dovetail them at once. So now we got both of them dovetailed. Now we're just going to take this piece of ribbon. We're going to unfold it at the halfway mark. And we're just going to stick it down in there. And just accordion it down. And we're going to let this one run opposite that way. We're just going to let them make that little X look. That's what we're going to do. So now we've added in an extra tail, but we didn't add in an extra loop. Y'all, get you some community coffee, y'all. Community dark roast. And I do not get paid by community, but I sure do love their coffee. Absolutely the best. Alright, so we got every bit of the 2.5 that we're going to use for now. That's what I was telling y'all earlier, to just play around with it, and make the bow yours. You know, if you don't like it, take it apart. You can redo it. It's just ribbon. It is just ribbon, y'all. Alright, now see this ribbon's a little bit thinner, so see how it wants to curl? Can y'all see how it does? It wants to fold in on itself. That's where I was telling y'all, instead of going so much at an angle, shorten it up a little bit and just do a slight dovetail on that. So it doesn't, it still tries to, but it's not quite as bad if you cut it just at a little bit slighter, thinner, smaller angle, not so deep. Alright, a little shorter. This is going to start our 3-2-1, and then we're going to add an extra tail on every color. Alright, so we're going to twist. Now we're going to make our loop. A little bit shorter than that last loop, about a finger. Twist. Make sure everything lays down, get your length right. And we'll make your next loop. You can pull as much slack out if you want. It does not matter. You're going to twist again. Make sure them twists are tight. Make sure your length's pretty close. Make your next loop. Fix your wire. Things get all that wire holds in place wherever you send it. Make sure it's about the same as the last one. Twist. Check your length. Make sure your twist is good. Make your next loop. Twist. Make your third loop. Now that gives us our 3 on the left, and we're going to be doing this last one on the right, and that'll give us our three loops. And we're going to add in an extra tail, just like we did on the first one. Now we're here. So now we don't have to twist, just push it down in there. This is where you're going to cut your tail off. A little bit shorter than those last ones. And we're going to dovetail. Alright, so now we're going to make an extra tail, not quite as long. The last one was 18. We're going to do this one about 17. We're going to shorten them up a little bit, about 1 inch. We'll fold it in half, put it together, flatten it down, get that crease, fold them together, dovetail them both, and you can open up, and this one's going to lay opposite the other one that we stuck in. On your halfway mark, make sure everything's down. Just go down like that. You're going to have one of these will be the same. This is just giving us some extra color. That's the wrong way. Make sure my loop was right. The loop looked like it got turned. Alright. We're through with the purple. Now we've got this orange, and then last will be that one. And this is all has a lot of glitter in every bit of it. It's all shiny, all lots and lots of glitter. Gonna make a super pretty bow. Now we're at our 2 loops on each side, so pull your ribbon a little shorter, make your twist, shove it down. Make your first loop, pull your slack back around, a little shorter than those last loops, twist, shove it down. Twist, make your loop a little bit shorter. We're going to twist. A little bit longer there. I think this one needs to be a little shorter, y'all. Give them slack. Make your twist. So see, I mean, it's not rocket science. Just take your time. We're going to get 2 of these, make your twist, and each ribbon's, you know, a lot of ribbons, they're made out of different stuff. Sometimes they feel better than others. You know, you can tell the difference in the material. And we don't have to twist anymore, because this is we got our 2 loops on each side. Just make sure you continue holding that stack, pushing that stack down. We're going to go a little shorter than the last. Cut our dovetail. And we're going to add in an extra tail that's 16 inches. Shortening up these tails every time. Fold together. Fold them together again with the wire in my left hand. Cut toward the sky. Yep. And now we got double dovetails, and we're going to go opposite of purple, so we're back on the first one. Or I mean, you could actually, if you wanted to try to pull it across, you could. And just kind of, you know, accordion it up, shove it down. Like so. And now we're on our last color, which is this really pretty stripe cross pattern, a cross stripe pattern, purple, green, and orange. Dovetail. Now this one's if we're going to do an extra an extra tail on this one, we're going to have to do it a little different. We'll have to see. We may not put an extra tail of this. I have to see how much ribbon I got. I don't think I'm going to have enough to do this extra color. We'll see. See what we got. Because we're only doing one loop. So twist, make your loop. Get your length right that you want. You have to untwist a little bit, because this ribbon's really, really stiff because it's got all this glitter on it. Push it down. Make your loop. Get your length. And just squish it down. Supporting it down tight. Check your length. And now we can cut a little bit shorter on this little tail. And I'm not going a lot shorter on the tails all the time. You can always, once you get it together, you can cut that. Alright, so if we do want an extra tail in here, we're only going to go, I don't have much of this left, so we're going to pull it off. Probably only going to go about 15. So we'll go 15 inches, cut it, fold together. Go ahead and make your dovetail. Throw everything away. And just lay it in there opposite the way of the last one. You can see where you folded it in half. So, or you could leave this one straight. Whichever way you think you need to, whichever way you think you need to leave it. Like so. You could add multiple ones. You could leave that out. It does not matter. Alright, so now pick your color. We're going to get our zip tie. 8-inch zip tie. And I'm probably going to go with a black. Do a black or purple. If you had some lime green, that would probably work. An orange. So just, you know, kind of get you a coordinating color. Just trying to work that out. Now we're going to lift everything up from the very bottom, keeping the stack tight. Stick your zip tie under, push it back down, and we're going to connect the zip tie, but we're not going to pull it all the way down. Just keep that zip tie up against your pegs. Alright, so we have it snug, but we don't have it tight yet. Take your fingers and hold everything and move that zip tie. Don't let nothing move. Move the zip tie to that center where them pegs had made that line in all your ribbon. Push everything and hold it. Get your zip tie underneath, your chenille stem underneath the zip tie, about halfway. Now we can start. Make sure you squeeze with those thumb and forefinger, and we can start pulling, keeping all of that stack straight. Roll it around, push, roll it around a little more, making sure, you know, take a peek at it, make sure it's all straight. And we've got it pretty tight. So now we can bend everything down so we can hold it. And we can start with our long side. Now remember, we have extra tails in here, but it's no different. So we've got tail, loop. Now we're back to tail, opposite that way. 3 loops. So your 3 loops are going to make like a finger. They're going to kind of look just like that. Grab the first one, go left, the next one, go right, and the third one's going to stay right in the center, opening up as you go. Now you're going to go to your 2, they're going to split that finger. So we're going to have a tail, it's going to go opposite. You're going to have 1 loop goes that way, and you have 1 loop goes this way. Now remember, if they don't look like they're laying right, switch them up. Now we're back to our where we have extra tails. So now we got to go opposite that way, making sure those tails, you got one purple over here, so we're going to run one purple on this side. Got your two loops, and you got your tail. This is your extra tail. Go opposite. You got one tail on this side, so go opposite the other side, or vice versa. If you want to, if it's laying in here like this, let's do this. Let's move this purple over here. Since those little tails are facing one way as it is, we're going to leave this one straight, and we're going to take this purple and come back over here, kind of where he was at. That way it'll stay in that relaxed position. Make sure those purple loops are all good. Now we're going to go back opposite way with this one, trying to see where he's at. So we're going to bring him back over here. You gotta, like I said, don't be scared to pull on it. It's wired ribbon. It's meant for you to put it where you want it, and it stay there. Now we have the extra tail. We'll do one this way. That one's going to stay opposite. Alright, this is our last color. We're going to go, where's the opposite tails? Just like so. Alright, so we're going to go to the right with that stripe. Open up your center. This is your last single loop. Keep it between those oranges, that orange and that black with that swirl on it, and move that extra tail opposite one another. Make sure that they're laying okay. And I'm just going to pull it down in there like so. And we're going to switch it up. Now once you get all your loops open, you can kind of tell. Now remember, when you fluff, you're going opposite everywhere. So take your time at where you started. We own our 2.5 inch tails on bottom. So we got loop first. So we're going to go loop straight. Then we're going to go tail. You got to make sure which ones are extra tail. Our extra tails are a little bit longer. So we're going to take this one and we're going to go opposite here. Now we've got that extra tail. We're going to leave one on this side, and we got the other one crossed over here. So now we got everything making X's. Make sure, just keep going. Open up your purples into your 3. Then we're going to have this purple here. This purple going to go on this side. Just like so. There's our orange. Open up those wires so them loops lay pretty. Now we've got this orange with that swirl pattern on it. We got to find where our oranges is at. We got one here, one here. One's already there, so we're going to go this way with one. Now we have kind of like our crosses, single loop. And now we've got our extra one here. This is the bottom one. This one's going to go, kind of see where things is at. This one goes this way. This one here. I actually like that one over there, and I like, they're going to just have to lay just like that. So just let them relax. I want this one straight. I want this one straight. I wanted these two kind of to stay together. And now that you've done both sides, start working back through them, making sure everything's open. your loops. Run your fingers through every one of those ribbons, making sure that they have that little bit of curl to them. Just turn it around and just keep working. I still don't like the way that one. This ribbon being stiff, I don't really like the way that center worked out, but it still looks okay. We're going to twist it, make sure we get some little loops going there. So you could have left that one off, but it's okay. It's still going to be a super cute, super blingy, with extra tails in it. I want to be able to see all of these colors everywhere, so I'm just going to pull till I see them. Make sure they're like that. And now you've got a really super pretty Halloween bow that is, I mean, it's got some glitter on it, y'all. So it's really pretty. You can, once you get it on your project, you can start trimming some of these tails if you want to. How cute is that? What kind of statement would that make on a piece, y'all? That's going to make a super pretty statement. I was trying to see this tail. Super pretty. Alright, so now y'all kind of got the hang of the way the 4-in-1 works with bow making. So let's go over real quick what else. Now at this point, y'all, on both the bows, any of them, is where I kind of pull that tie wrap. I pull that zip tie a couple clicks, and this is where I would trim with our cutters. We just use some cobalt, wire cutters, and this is where I cut just the zip tie. Don't cut just cut that extra piece of zip tie off, and that's it for the bow. Let me cut this one as well. I'm gonna pull a little slack on this little fall one. You're only gonna get a couple little clicks. Let it go click, and you're done. Cut the zip tie. Now you got a super cute little bow for your project. Now, back to the 4-in-1. If you want to do your ribbon tails, I'm just going to use, we'll just use this purple. That'll be fine. I got to find my pegs. What do I do with all my pegs? There we go. So you can take these out, or you can take them both out. You could just use those two if you want. You can always use 2 extras. Alright, so we're going to close back up again. You can put 2 here. And I had one more, I thought. No. Or did I? I thought I had an extra peg somewhere. Don't remember. Because I took all my pegs out of mine and I stuck them in the drawer. So I don't remember. Anyway. You can put more than these 2 apart. You can put some over here if you had, definitely if you just went and bought some extras. But the 2 holes, you put them side by side, and you can take your mesh. You can take a piece of mesh that you're going to be doing cruffles on. I'm just going to cut some real quick. Oh look, that's a piece. So just say you're going to do a cruffle with this. So you're gonna roll up a little bit, and you're going to accordion across, and this end's kind of rolled. So say you're going to make cruffles for your deco mesh, then you can just use these and put them in it as a holder. So you just keep stacking them in it. So make your cruffles and just stick them right in here and stack as many as you can. That way you're not having to hold them. So that's one of the options that the 4-in-1 has that you can use. Or you can take your ribbon, and you're needing to make some ribbon tails, which we all use ribbon tails. So now you take your pegs out. Now this is where you center your zeros out so you can make your bows. But if you want some, it'll do 14-inch tails, or so we can do 14s, we can do 10s, and that's about as short as I would do. But 14 is a good length for your ribbon tails. So put your 2 pegs in your 7s. So there's your 2 7s. So now you got 7 inches on each side, and just move all the rest of your pegs and just take your ribbon. Now I'm not going to cut this because I'm just showing y'all this on how to do it. Now I'm right-handed, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to hold it on the peg, and I'm just going to start going around. Every time you go a full turn, you get 2. So you got 1 here. Let it kind of wrap around on that peg and hold it till you get back on top of itself. So you got 1 ribbon tail there. Now you got 2 ribbon tails. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And now when you cut it, you slide everything off. You know, you wind up cutting. You cut off right here. You slide them up, just like always, and make sure they're all together. And you take your scissors and you cut in here, and you cut in this side, and now you've got your 9 ribbon tails that you can cut and dovetail, and it's just that quick. So we do it a couple of different ways, but this is definitely one of the things that I like about the 4-in-1. It makes really super quick work of it. You know, now I'm gonna have to roll my ribbon back up. I just didn't want to cut it because, I mean, I'm still going to use this ribbon, so I'm going to put it back on. But the 4-in-1's a very good multi-purpose tool. We do sell them here at smalltownwreathshop.com, so you can find them under our Small Town Wreath Shop tools collection on our website, and pick you one up today. So I hope that y'all got a little bit of value out of this video, and that I maybe taught you a little something. I hope I worked slow enough. Ask questions in the comments, please, and I will definitely try to answer and help you as much as I can. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna put everything back where it went for my my bow making, and I'm gonna store these in a drawer. This is how I keep it because I'm just normally making bows with it. So if you did get any value out of this video, please, y'all helping us grow, so give us a thumbs up, you know, give us a like, give us a share, invite somebody to our With the Bickhams page. Also check us out on our Small Town Wreath Shop social media pages everywhere. Our Facebook page is our biggest page, where we have over 27,000 followers there. Our YouTube is definitely growing. I do more different things on the With the Bickhams channel, where I cook, and y'all hang out with us doing multiple things. But if you like to learn to do stuff like this, please check it out. I thank y'all for coming to hang out with me today. Don't forget to subscribe to the With the Bickhams channel. Y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. I'm Craig with the Bickhams and Small Town Wreath Shop. Also check out the With the Bickhams blog, withthebickhams.com. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye, y'all.